All right, round two. Hope everybody's doing good. So I was talking about feelings of undeservingness, not feeling like not feeling like we deserve something in our lives, and understanding that is really just old commentary, That's all just commentary. How do we detect it, or how do we stop it? I think that's dependent on each and every one of us in our personal lives. But I think the most important thing is to understand that it's not us. That those feelings of I don't deserve more, I'm not good enough, I'm not creative, all that negativity that may cause people to sabotage. In many cases it does. Maybe recognizing that's not us. It's not us. It's they're commentaries. They're running commentaries. It's almost like a record player keeps playing the same thing over and over, and I've come to understand that the more you try to figure it out, the less you actually help. I've come to understand that we have to just kind of look at it, not ignore it. That won't help, right? That won't help. But we have to look at it. There has to be some the light of consciousness. Let's call it that, right? The light of consciousness. You have to look at it and realize that, again, that it's not us. That they're just thoughts, commentaries. Ideas. Not good ones, not very good ones. Not very good ones, but they do happen. They do come up from time to time, depending on the person. I think we all have some sort of undeserving somewhere in our lives. I think the problem is that sometimes it's too much, where it actually creates problems in our lives. And so, in my own life, I'm beginning to understand that they're nothing but running commentaries. Again, since childhood, or something we saw, something we did, something that was done to us, said to us, whatever it was, it's almost like a spell, right? It's like a spell. And I think it's important to recognize over and over, recognize that ultimately it doesn't have power over us. Ultimately, it's a belief. It can have power if you ignore it, or especially if you ignore it. If you try to think your way through it, it can have power. It's like pouring gasoline on a little fire. You start thinking about it. But what I've noticed is you're not supposed to think about it. Just look at it. Look at it so that you can recognize it for what it is. Just a belief. Or maybe you might not even see that it's just a belief. You might see that it's just a feeling. Feel the feeling. Recognize the feeling. Why do I feel unease? Why do I feel undeserving? Why do I feel upset? Why do I feel not worthy, not good enough? Why do I feel upset, angry, whatever it is? Why? And not really going to the why, not really going into thinking and trying to come up with reasons, but more like let it be there. Let that feeling be there. Let it live. Let it occupy space, or watch it while it's occupying. You can't even watch it while it's occupying space in you, in your presence. Now it says this month has been the worst for sales for me. I need to get back. I hear that. Yeah, man. I think we have things to resolve as people. And based on my experience and what I've read and what I've seen, what I've experienced personally, human beings can be very complicated if we go into thinking about things. I think it's a lot of it, if not all of it, is tied to what we believe we deserve. Because it really isn't that complicated. Creating artwork, selling artwork, that type of deal, it's not complicated at all. There's nothing complicated about it. And so what we're experiencing from either the sales or it might have to do with our level of deservingness. If not, all of it has to do with that. And I don't think you can think about it. I think you have to look at it. Don't question it. Just look at it. Look at it while you're feeling whatever you're feeling, or you're having those thoughts. Just look at them, because they require your presence, if you will. They require your presence. They require you to look at them. That's why they're screaming. It's a thing that's screaming. Either you don't feel like you're good enough, or you don't feel like you're creative enough, or you don't feel like you deserve more money, or whatever it is. It's screaming at you. Some commentary, some running commentary. Vivek says thinking is destructive, very destructive. The most destructive thing there is in human beings would be attributed to thinking. What I've been learning is that we all have limitations, and the limitations are, most of them are set by us. They're not really limitations set by something else or exterior conditions. They're personal limitations. They're unresolved things in our psyche. It all emanates from the same place. It comes from not feeling enough, not feeling good enough, not being enough. Perfectionism is a form of that. You know, a lot of artists have this perfectionist thing, whether it's with their artwork or the way that the artwork comes out or blah 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 blah. All that type of perfectionism is just a way to remind us that we don't feel enough, so we need to do something extra. We need to do something more. That's how Prince made so many songs. He said he wouldn't think, but just pick up the guitar and sing. Yeah. It's really the only way. And I think it's very important for us to look at that, because many times we don't deal with that. We just it deals with us. We don't deal with it. It deals with us. Whenever you're feeling down, or you feel like you're overthinking your artwork, hi. What's up? Whenever you're feeling like you're down, or that your artwork is no good, or you're not producing good art, or you just don't have the energy to go into the marketplace or whatever, it's probably has nothing to do with all the other stuff. It most likely has to do with you're getting in your own way. You just are. And many times we don't deal with that. We deal with so many things as artists. We deal with creating artwork and marketing and all of this, and how to create compositions and all this other stuff, but oftentimes we don't deal with what do you do when you have everything, you have all the tools, you have all the things you need, but you yourself feel like you can't do it, like you're not worthy of doing it. And maybe you don't have those words in there. You know, maybe those words are not in there. Maybe you do feel worthy. Maybe you do feel like, maybe you think it's something else. I'm buying oil paint. And so Tony says, yeah, that's what I'm struggling with. Yeah, it seems like a common thing. Guys, I'm gonna go to my car. I forgot my
Okay.
note. I'll be right back.
Oh,
Okay.
gotcha.
And I'm gonna. Yeah, it seems like a common thing to not believe in ourselves enough to not to have patterns of sabotage or overthinking. I've experienced that myself many times, and I've driven my wife crazy and myself crazy over it. I have to be positive. Yeah, but I think we have to be positive, but I also think we have to not think about it so much. We have to cut ourselves slack and not overthink the process. And if you find yourself overthinking, just recognize, oh, this is a pattern. This is what I'm doing to myself to stop myself from moving forward. This is just any time that you find yourself overthinking, it's a pattern. You're doing something to stop yourself from moving forward. You're coming up with an excuse, and it looks different for different people. Sometimes the excuse looks like I'm not creative enough, or my paintings aren't good enough, or I don't have frames. Yeah, you have to rewire that. What I found the best way to rewire something is to simply do and not really think. Not really think. Like we have, as human beings, we have this luxury of overthinking. It's become a luxury. It wasn't for thousands and thousands of years, but it's become a luxury. Do you guys have any gesso?
Gesso?
Yeah, we got gesso. We got the.
I need some gesso. No, I need the gallon. There you go. That's the one.
You okay? This
Yeah.
one?
It's acrylic, right?
Yeah, acrylic gesso.
Yeah. Perfect. That's for me.
You're gonna be painting a lot today.
Yeah, I gotta do a lot of painting.
Like always.
Like always. Yeah. Oh, let me get a couple of little brushes.
Sure. Take your time.
Boom. Just like that. I'll take these brushes. These brushes belong with me.
Yeah.
All right, my friends.
Simply Simmons.
The Simply Simmons are the ones that
They're your go-tos.
they're my go-tos. It's overthinking, my friends. That's really what it is. You're overthinking the whole thing. It's not difficult. It's so easy, but you don't believe it's easy, and so you make it more difficult.
So easy even a caveman can do it. 246.32.
Okay. It's really not complicated. There's probably a need to make it complicated for some level of deservingness that it's not there. That's what I've experienced, anyways. Anytime you're complicating something, you're walking away from it. You're getting yourself in the way so that you don't accomplish it, so that you don't get it, so that for whatever reason you don't feel like you deserve it. It doesn't really matter why. The why doesn't matter. It could be it could be one thing, it could be nothing, it could be a million things. The why doesn't matter. What matters is to understand that you don't need to complicate it. And when you do feel like you're complicating it, come to an understanding right away while it's happening. If you can, come to an understanding that you're only making it difficult for yourself so that you don't acquire it, so you don't achieve it. And don't try to go into why. And it's useless. Human beings are complicated that way. It's useless. You're gonna come up with a million reasons and this and that, and that's not. There's no real reason for it other than we don't feel like we deserve it. Thank you so much, my friend.
Yeah, take it easy, man.
All right. All right. See you next time.
All right, see ya.
And we may ask ourselves, like, why don't I deserve it? Like, why is this dude telling me that my lack in my self-belief or whatever, it's because I don't deserve it? I've experienced it in my own life. I've experienced this feeling in my own life, this pattern, this running commentaries, and it's always that. It's always some sort of thing pointing to, I can't do it, it's too much, I'm not going to be able to get away with this, that imposter syndrome. Whatever it is, it's a bunch of shit. It's not, and none of it is real. I mean, you name it. Put on it whatever you want. I wronged someone when I was younger. Somebody wronged me. Growing up, I was poor, and I was told that I was going to stay poor. I never fixed something that I was supposed to fix. I was supposed to take care of. So I always feel like I have to sabotage it, I have to break it every time, and on and on and on and on. Everybody has them. They just function in different places. If it's hurting you in your career, it's very evident, right? And you may be hurting yourself and your family. But everybody has them. They just have them in different areas. And again, I don't know psychology. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know anything about that. I'm just expressing my experience. Just forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for that, for having that feeling. Forgive yourself for not feeling enough. Forgive yourself for give yourself slack. Forgive yourself. You're not supposed to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. That's not your job. Forgive yourself if you fucked up. If somebody wronged you, if you wronged someone. If somebody told you that you were going to be a loser, or when you were a kid and you didn't know what to do with that, and that kept a running commentary in your mind, and so you never feel worthy enough. Forgive yourself if your father wasn't there or your mother wasn't there growing up. Forgive yourself. It's not your fault. Yeah. Forgive yourself also for that. Forgive yourself for feeling pressured. It's not your fault. It's ultimately nothing is your fault. It's not your fault. Those are just the reactions. The human being is a very complicated creature. They're just reactions. If you feel the pressure that you have a second child coming to the world, and you have to take care of that child, that's a natural reaction to feel overwhelmed and say, man, how am I gonna take care of this kid? How am I gonna raise him up to be a good person, a positive outcome in the world? How am I going to make sure that this child doesn't lack anything? And so you can overwhelm yourself, and it's okay. Forgive yourself. You're going to do a good job. You're not. I'll tell you this. You won't do a good job overthinking about it. Like, you'll do a good job because you're going to do a good job. It has nothing to do with thinking about it. There's no strategies. There's no tricks to it. It's just you're just gonna do it, and it's gonna work out. Your intention is good. See, I think we don't pay attention to our intentions, especially because a lot of people today, especially today, they say, well, the outcome or the action trumps the intention or the intent. That's not necessarily true. Intentions are very good. Intentions are important to recognize. Sometimes our intent is to take care of someone, and our action fails us to do it. But our intent is true. It's a good thing, and our actions can create havoc, and maybe your intent is to take care of your child, but your overthinking will create a different action. Don't worry about it. Don't sit in it. Just look at it and smile to it. Oh, it's my mind. It's my mind losing its shit. Okay. Yeah. It's not you. It's just your mind. It's commentary. I gotta do more. I'm not creative enough. I gotta find out different ways of being more creative. I have to. It's all a running commentary. I gotta sell more. I gotta paint more. I gotta stay up longer, and on and on. It's a running comment. It's not. None of it is true. It's just a running commentary. The mind is looking for survival. None of it is true. And so, at the end of the day, it comes with a high price to overthink. It's a very high price to pay. And you didn't cost it. Yes, you cost it. Yes, but your being, your real you, did not cost that. That's a running commentary. It's an egoic pattern. It's a running commentary. That's all it is. And it gets repeated if it doesn't get acknowledged. It has to be acknowledged. It has to be seen. It only repeats itself if it doesn't have light of awareness. If it doesn't get seen. If it doesn't get acknowledged. If all you do when it happens is curl up in a ball and get upset or hate yourself for it, for overthinking or sabotaging or whatever, you're not really seeing it. You're reacting to it only. You have to be able to see it. Most of us, and I mean this with everything I know, most of us that live in developed countries, let's call it that, right? I'm not even going to call it first world countries. Or most of us that live in developed countries should be able to have an outstanding life as an artist. I mean outstanding. I'm talking about millions. I'm talking about everything taken care of, beautiful exhibits, should be able to have an outstanding life. Most of us. Because it's not that difficult. It doesn't require that much. It's not as difficult as the mind thinks it is. It's not even tied to work itself. It's not even tied to work. I mean, it is, but it isn't from the thinking aspect of it. It's not even tied to work. It's definitely not tied to thinking. You don't get rewarded for thinking. Not in this career, you don't. Maybe you're a scientist or something, but here in this career, you don't get rewarded for thinking. You actually get thrown in the back of the line for thinking as an artist. The only reason why we don't have what we want in this type of career, our goals, whatever those goals are, whether it be creating a collection of work or supporting yourself and your family or beyond, right? Becoming a name, right? Some sort of role in the history books or in your local community or whatever. It's not difficult. There's nothing difficult about it. There's not a single drop of difficulty. There's nothing to it. The whole thing, it's not even belief. You don't even need belief in yourself. It's too abstract. The whole thing is because you keep thinking about it. That's the whole thing. The whole problem is you keep thinking about it. It's easier to make a good life, a good living as an artist than not to. I know this is weird. I know this is, I don't know. People might not like what I'm saying right now, but it's easier to make a good living as an artist than not to. It's very hard not to. It's very difficult. It's very overwhelming. Sabotaging yourself is a very difficult endeavor. Because you have to constantly convince yourself that you're not doing something right. It's very difficult. It's very draining. It takes a lot of energy. Making a great career out of this art thing, it's the easiest fucking thing ever. All you gotta do is sit back and relax. Literally, sit back and relax. All you gotta do is just play like a child. You don't have to think about anything. You just start doodling. Keep doodling. Start listing stuff online. You don't have to think about it. There is no thinking. There's no, what time should I do it? How should I run the auction? There's no thinking required. No thinking. The more you think about it, the more you fuck it up. There's no thinking required. Literally no thinking. Get some art supplies, start painting. Finish the painting, you put it online, you put it on Facebook. You go, you talk to people. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, you started thinking. No thinking. Oh, I don't care if I don't have time, I have time. I'll do it. I'll do whatever I can today. Oh, the painting is not good enough, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter that it's not good enough. It's good enough right now. Pop, 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 pop. No thinking, no thinking. Just keep your mind out of it. And then the opportunities and the money starts pouring in. It follows that. That's the pattern. It's so easy. This shit is too easy. And that's a part of it is what saddens me from time to time, is that this shit is too easy and we make it difficult. And I will say it again, anyone in a developed country where there is some sort of economy and you're able to sell online or you're able to go to galleries or whatever, this shit shouldn't be hard. If it's hard, you're overkilling it. You're thinking about it too much. And if you're overkilling it, don't feel bad about yourself. Like, there's some sort of feeling that you don't deserve it or something in there. Forgive yourself. Just literally tell yourself, like I forgive myself. I forgive myself for not having courage in this moment, or I forgive myself for overthinking or creating problems where they're not, or I forgive myself for overthinking about this, or for what they did to me or what I did to them or whatever. Just forgive yourself and set it aside. Like, just throw it away. Forgiveness. I forgive myself for feeling that my work is not good enough. It's not creative enough. It's not going to sell. People are not going to care about it. Whatever it is, I forgive. You have to forgive yourself. The reason I say you have to forgive yourself is so that you can acknowledge it. Okay, there's a feeling right there. Okay, I forgive because the reason I say forgiveness is because if you're feeling that feeling, if you're having that thought or that feeling, you don't know better when you're having it. Nobody purposefully tries to hurt themselves. Nobody does that. Nobody purposefully tries to harm themselves or their family or their economy. No one does that. No one in the right mind will ever do that. So if that's happening, you're not conscious of it. And so rather than adding more fuel and saying, oh my God, I'm so bad, poor me, I'm such a bad person, or dislike your pattern or whatever you've created for yourself, just forgive yourself. Okay? You don't need to do anything else other than acknowledge that you had that idea, that wrong idea, or that wrong belief, and you didn't mean to, because who in the right mind does? No one. No one drinks till they're fucking drunk just because. People drink because they're trying to suppress a feeling. Forgive yourself. There's a feeling that you're trying to suppress. Forgive yourself. No one does anything to harm themselves or others in the right consciousness. No one does that. In this way, the world is perfect. No one's really doing anything to hurt themselves or others. Anytime we do something where we hurt others or we hurt ourselves, it's not done in true consciousness. It's done in a state where you're not really conscious. And so forgive yourself for not being conscious. That's all. Oh, I wasn't conscious there. Forgive myself for that. And you bring light to it. It's like throwing a flashlight in the middle of the night and the roaches running away in some old house or something. The roaches just start running away. All those feelings just run away like roaches when you throw a flashlight. Because you're creating forgiveness. Because no one in the right mind does anything to harm themselves. Dude, twining today with a white tee. What is that? the white tee? And so All I say is, hey, check it out, world's greatest living artist. All I say is, just forgive yourself. That's all. It is not complicated. And if you're making it complicated, acknowledge that you are making it complicated. If it feels like oh, I can't, I have to, it's not supposed to feel like that. It's not supposed to feel like that. It's supposed to feel like you're walking on fucking clouds. That's what it's supposed to feel. If you're not walking on clouds, you're trying too hard. If you're trying too hard, you're doubting yourself. You're doubting yourself. You're doubting yourself. You probably have some unresolved idea about yourself. Not good enough, not deserving of it, or whatever. It's okay. You don't need to make a big deal about it. We all have those feelings, and sometimes we sabotage ourselves. You don't have to anymore, though. You don't have to anymore. It's just a running commentary in your mind. It's not real. Everyone's art career should feel like you're walking on clouds. Everyone's. Everyone deserves lots of cash for it too. Lots of it. Cash is good. Everyone deserves lots of it to take care of themselves and their family. And beyond if they want to. We all do. We all deserve a lot of happiness. We all deserve a lot of money for our work. And we all deserve to do it in a state of joy. It's playing like a child. Just think about this. You found the one thing that people go bananas over, the career that makes them happy, and then you make it difficult. Again, I will say this again. Any developed country, whatever that means today, where there's commerce, where there's free commerce, where people can sell their work and get into galleries or whatever, and only you know if that's true in wherever area you live, where you can go online. You should be able to easily earn what any heart surgeon is earning in your community. Easily. I know this is not why everybody's in it, but if you're making a career out of it, might as well fucking get paid for it. If you're making a career out of it. If you're not making a career and you just love painting and it's a side thing and it should still feel super easy and effortless. If it's not, you're overthinking it. This is a very easy endeavor. It's a very easy endeavor. There's nothing complicated about this. The only thing complicated is between your ears. And you don't need to. You don't need to feel bad about it. It's human to do that. But start shining some light into it. So that you can drop it. You know? Start shining some light. Like, oh, okay, I'm making this more complicated than it should be. Okay. It's a pattern, it's a running commentary. We all carry that in one way or another. We don't feel enough. Yeah, maybe mommy wasn't there, daddy wasn't there. Daddy used to hit mommy. Mommy told me I wasn't good enough. All that stuff, right? Abuse, all that shit that human beings encounter. So we make, it's almost like we make backpacks, you know? We start carrying this thing around. Everything that happened to us, we put a heavy rock in this backpack. I'm telling you, we can drop it. I can drop that backpack and say, the fuck with it. I don't need to carry this around. What happened then, happened then. It's not happening right now. And forgive yourself. Forgive yourself whether you did something to someone or someone did something to you. There was no conscience in it. And there's no conscience. Also forgive yourself for carrying it around, because there's no conscience while you're carrying it around. If you're carrying it around, there's no conscience there. It's like a zombie carrying something. Like we do that, you know. It's human. It's okay. It's part of being alive. Human beings are complicated. We're complicated creatures. But there's always that light, that door, where you're like, I don't have to be complicated. I don't have to complicate this. I don't have to make it hard for myself or my family, or beat myself up. Cut yourself some slack. If you don't feel like painting, or you feel like you're not creative or whatever, just cut yourself slack. Leave yourself alone. Leave yourself alone. Go take a nap, or paint whatever the fuck you want. Or don't paint anything. The discipline is not in how much work you do. The discipline is how much you leave yourself alone. That's really where the discipline is. How much you don't get in your own way. The less you get in your own way, you're either overthinking and overworking it, or you're procrastinating it. In either one of those poles, you're not leaving yourself alone. Leave yourself alone. What's up?
Sorry for the interruption. Can I order? Because we're going to order from Seis. Can I get a tocino and a chorizo so we can split these?
Damn. Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
It's my girl. Say hi, baby.
Hi.
She's like,
We're hungry.
all right. So that's that, my friends. If you like what happened here, I don't know, invite a friend over. I talk about things like this in my channel. I call it my channel.
That's the car.
Yeah. I'm not gonna ask you to follow me, because you're probably following me already. Follow me, don't follow me. I don't care. I don't follow a lot of people that I actually watch their content, so I don't care whether I get followed or not. What I do care is that people see it. That's what I do care about. And so if you feel like I had something worthy of saying here, invite a friend over. Tell a friend. That's all I ask. Tell a friend. I'm not gonna ask you to follow me or any of that shit. Yeah. That's my son. Very cool. Tell a friend. Let a friend know what we're doing. And
To get it out. That one didn't need to ship until Thursday.
And again, guys, remember, it's not real. None of it is real. If you're feeling doubtful. Hey, what's up, Marcel? you're feeling doubtful, or you're feeling anxious, or you feel like your career's not taking off, it's not going where you wanted to take it, it's not, none of it is true. You don't need to paint better. Not right now. Eventually you'll paint better, but it will have nothing to do with it will have like zero to do with how much you earn or your exhibits or anything like that. This is a game of getting out of your way. That's all. That's what this game is about. Come on, dude. This whole game is about getting out of your own way. If you don't know that, or if you don't think that, you might be very confused. This is not about painting better than someone else. This is not about painting bigger. This is not about any of that. This is not about knowing how to use Facebook ads more than someone else. It's got nothing to do with any of that. This is strictly about getting out of your own way.
Did you see how good I did?
I sure did. Look at that hair, dude. That's like rock star hair right there.
Yes.
All right, let's go inside. Okay, guys. Talk to you guys later. Peace out.